Welcome back to the Two Promises Podcast. Let's dive right into another exciting adventure with BD and crew as he pursues his new passion of one day finding the most epic bourbon. The Two Promises team send their special thanks to Hobie and the Huckleberries for their masterful theme music. So grab a glass, relax, and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey and I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth, smooth whiskey. No more wine. I like straight bourbon. Baby, you try the ride.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Two Promises Podcast. This is BD, and we are at BD Mobile. In fact, we are recording here in Asheville, North Carolina, and I am super excited for this wedding that we've been kind of discussing throughout this whole journey. So, all right, perfect. Here we are. So basically what I'm doing, getting ready for the wedding. Getting ready for the wedding for me was a very complex process. I was lucky enough to get a ride from Mama Cheryl. You know Mama Cheryl from, her fight song. Anyway, I am riding with her husband and their son, John. And we are going to celebrate Kent and Elena Palmer's wedding on September 12th. So, in my jumping through multiple hemispheres and doing lots of jobs all over the world with the Navy and otherwise, sometimes just being a COVID. Sorry, I'm really trying to fight a lot of stress right now, so I'm a lot less smooth with my audio skills and my speaking skills and my public speaking skills, so hopefully you all can bear with me, and if not, maybe come back later. I don't know. But I was not aware of the wedding date whenever I drew my line in the sand and decided to launch this podcast on September 13th for a lot of very important and personal reasons, not just for myself, but for family members, friends, etc. So, in the process of learning that this very important date, as in the wedding, was so close to my podcast launch, I made both of those dates non-negotiable in my mind, and I set on the path to excel at both of those environments, situations, social settings. One, I wanted to do it to honor Kent and his wife, mostly because I have known Kent for maybe 5 years, and I have seen him. Kent was a battle buddy of my best friend Kyle Price, and he was killed in Iraq 19 days before I went to boot camp. Growing up, we both wanted to join the military together. He wanted to be a Marine. I was more interested in being in the Navy with some special operations flair with it. So that's what I did. But the process to get a contract for that is, in some ways, a little bit more difficult than getting a Marine Corps contract. Love Marine Corps recruiting, love Marine Corps culture. Not a huge fan of their organizational management. I'm just going to voice that right now. Love the Marines. Great people. You can never meet better people, for real. But also know that Marines do a very specific job, and they're a very specific portion of this whole global security strategy that we have here, so that, agree with it or not, we can be afforded certain liberties, freedoms, and protection securities. While it's an imperfect system, I will agree with that 100%, and that's a big reason why I wanted to make sure that we could get some voices heard here on the podcast. my voice just happens to be the voice that's passionate about doing this long term. So I want to open up some of that dialogue. Back to what I'm doing. I am trying to prepare for this wedding. I broke my foot a few days ago. And I'm completely naked right now. And I thought somebody was coming in the door. That's why I brought that up. So, I just showered. Everybody else is at a prep dinner where they're kind of getting on the same page, like the wedding party, the officiators, because John, Kyle Price's dad, he's the officiator. He's going to be officially marrying Kent and Elena Palmer. So it's absolutely incredible, absolutely lovely. So they have a lot of responsibilities that I don't. And since I'm in kind of a regenerative state, since I am in a health-focused state, mental health, etc., and I had kind of a rough few days, and then we add in aggravating an old injury, I've been having to do what I do, which is flex and pivot a lot, and maintain a very balanced emotional state, regardless of what is going on externally, either professionally with my podcast, professionally with the career that I am trying to get started that has been eluding me, and also personally with the relationships that I value and the people that I want to honor. So back to honoring Kent and Elena Palmer. So Kent, we've been sharing this like traumatic healing and regenerative journey with each other in our own way, in the sparse communications that we've been able to have with each other. So he is a very special friend to me, regardless of how much time we've actually been ever able to interact together. So he met Elena whenever he was in his kind of darkest hours, whenever he was his most vulnerable, his most wounded, his most concerned, probably personally and other people for him. And she was that anchor, she was that shoreline, she was that piece of consistency that he needed to heal in miraculous ways, in ways that, had I not seen it, I might not have believed it. And I think it's an incredible story. So I want to be present as much as I possibly can this weekend. And we used the word triggered. So I'm going to use the word triggered because I de facto was triggered. After those of you who've known me before the podcast or been following me on social media or following my life, you can attest to the fact that there was some chaos ensuing on social media as I was finally finding accesses to healthcare and healthy outlets and healthy expressions on my healing journey. And to people who were not as close to me, that looked a little scary. And even people that knew me closely but had very strong protective urges, while they believed me and they trusted me whenever I communicated with them clearly, they also had very strong protective drives and urges, which caused them to take action. So from a mental health awareness / advocacy standpoint, I would like to applaud everyone who reached out, who took action, who made a stand in any way that was, whether that was, hey dude, I'm here for you. Hey, let's set up a time to chat. Hey, what do you need? Or get the F over here, sit down, let's talk, what's going on? So I've luckily received a great outpouring of support in a lot of different ways. So I just want to say, one, thank you to those of you that have reached out to me specifically, and then more broadly thank the mental health advocates and the people who do take action on a regular basis, and they go through life unsung. And they do it out of a genuine expression of love and care for the community around them, the people around them, the people they can influence, the people they can touch. So I just want to say thank you to all of you. You are noticed. You are needed. You are loved. You are providing an incredible value. Whether you're getting a sense of fulfillment externally or internally, or you've been going for a while without getting any validation or positive feedback, I just want to let you know that you're not alone. You are amazing, you're strong, you're incredible, you're resilient, you're powerful, and you have an incredible voice, an incredible mission, and let's just keep these passions alive, and let's just shelter each other whenever we individually need to take a knee and take a break or reduce some of the chaos that's going on around us. So thank you. I want to honor you all right now. So that's the background, that's the perspective, that's the frame. I want to give another shout out to True Grit Grooming Products for Men, based out of Colorado. Incredible branding, incredible people. I just got off of a message group with some of their team, and they're just phenomenal people. So right now, since I like to go back to the things in my environment, when I'm kind of opening up episodes, I got some True Grit Peppermint Spark Small Batch Natural Beard Oil, just to kind of help me slow myself down, feel human again, remind myself, hey dude, I know you have a nervous system that kind of operates in a way that could be seen as animalistic, but you're a cognitive human. You have sensations. You have a processing system that can take in stimulus and data and information and can process it and analyze it and respond to it any way that we choose. And so I'm choosing to anchor myself in sensations, in feelings, in everything, smells, touch, sight, sound, as much as I can. And that kind of helps me breathe, because I have no chill. It's very hard for me to focus. It's very hard for me to speak in this calm of a manner. But since I'm debilitated, since everyone left me because I asked them to, one, because I needed some space to kind of work through this so I could be present at the wedding, and two, because it just takes me a while to get ready with my injured foot, and I want to do it the right way because I haven't been doing it the right way because I've always gone so fast in the past. I broke it while I was on deployment, doing some training with some of my South Korean brothers. Loved them to death. It was the first time we got to kind of go a little bit faster than we'd been able to go in training. And so we had a lot of excitement. There were some high emotions and everybody was really excited. A very good positive rush for those in the first responder community, or in any type of career field that might have similar camaraderie things. Maybe you're in a networking group, in a like a religious institution group that kind of, the tribe type thing. All these tribes that we're finding and that we're a part of because they fulfill very important parts of our emotional needs, right? And our sense of security and belonging. So that was a little bit of a tangent, but I just wanted to say that. So right now I'm trying to get ready. Again, I am rated for a slight traumatic brain injury through the VA. So I have some, like I said, when I try to focus, regardless of what I'm treated for, regardless of what I'm diagnosed for, regardless of what's going on, the point that I would like to express is it's hard for me to focus. It's hard for me to maintain dialogue and complete thoughts sometimes, because I could be mid-sentence, mid-thought, mid-concept, and the lights go out in my brain. So thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for everyone that interacts with me on a regular basis for having that grace and understanding. Before, losing that train of thought or forgetting a memory or not being able to reinforce a short-term memory was a massive trigger for me that sent me into a negative self-talk and depression style spiral extremely fast. So I've been trying to work through that in my own way, and part of this podcast is part of it, and it's my way of kind of sharing some things that I've been going through and things that have worked for me and things that maybe didn't work, or some whatever. Let's just see what shakes out. Let's see what we got. So I'm getting ready for the wedding. I got some salves and balms and stuff around me that have been given to me through friends. And after I showered and kind of reset after a really good workout to honor my body and honor the date of September 11th, because it is September 11th, and that's a very historical day. Regardless of your feelings around it, it is a pivot point. It is a turning point in modern history. So I wanted to honor my body. I wanted to have a healthy outlet to some of these emotions that have occurred since I'm finally getting some purchase with professional medical care. But we'll talk about that a little bit later, because right now we're talking about the wedding. So I'm taking some space I'm learning some things. Some part of this whole journey is I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn from you all. I wanted to see what you guys do, how you guys react and respond, and what healing remedies or what things you guys do for mental health or for fun or professionally. And just the more I learn, it's just a very fascinating experience to see so much diversity of creativity and knowledge and talent and power whenever I've been so hyper-focused in a niche of very similar things, but with a completely different training methodology, culture, mission. So it's really fascinating to just learn and be and grow. So thank you for all the essential oil people that have kind of shared with me things that have worked, for all the people that have gone through different chemical pharmaceutical therapies. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your journey. It's been so beneficial for me. So part of my getting ready for the wedding to be present was to get a good workout in. If you follow me on social media, you'll see that workout posted. I had to do a mod because 1, I'm on the road, and 2, I broke my foot. So to get through some of that, I learned about some just vetiver. Vetiver was an oil that Mama Becky and Peggy introduced me to. So I've been kind of working with that, but I'm also very sensitive to smells. Some of my first responder communities, people that have experienced some of those just lifestyles and the conditioning and stuff that is associated with them, can attest to the fact that have used it that, you know, maybe it's effective, maybe it's not. But it was turned on to me, so I'm trying new things that I haven't had available to me or afforded to me or I just was ignorant of. So right now I'm kind of putting some salves on to kind of help my mental state, help me feel more balanced, but I'm mixing it with, you know, probably some coconut oil products. And I got this thing on when I was passing through South Dakota, maybe at like one of the airport things, a bee balm, honey and propolis, which is supposed to be very anti-inflammatory. So I'm working with that. And then I'm also taking pharmaceuticals of Mobic, which is kind of like a ibuprofen or Motrin, meloxicam, and I'm taking that as part of my foot treatment plan through my provider. So I have that I take 7.5 milligrams 2 times a day. Sorry, I'm getting some messages from the wonderful people at True Grit. Got a little distracted. I'm going to respond to them later as we are recording. Awesome. So right now I'm kind of doing what I've described to some of my friends as my toe. It's an injury, like I said, I injured it in South Korea training, and I kept re-injuring it and never healed right, and I was never afforded the opportunity to get actual x-rays while it was in the acute state of the fracture, because it was just one of those delayed things due to medical logistics and operational logistics and timing. So, long story short, finally got it x-rayed in the emergency room so we can start processing some of those claims to help me keep getting treatment for it. So long story short, I'm getting ready. I'm getting my mind right, and just being able to talk this out while I've been, wrapping up my toe, putting on some salves, freaking get my mind right for the day. It's been awesome. Another exciting thing is my suit for the wedding. It got delayed because I wasn't sure of the dress code whenever I was in the middle of my travel, and my stuff's kind of spread out literally all over the world. But long story short, hopefully, after chasing this down through multiple states, multiple ground, air, shipping locations, distribution locations, warehousing locations, it's supposed to arrive here in about 10 minutes. So I'm on my little journey to try to get those bad boys. They need to be tailored. They're brand new. I got that promotion. So that's why the 13th is also a significant date for me. Last year on September 13th, I received a promotion that at the time I was not mentally able to accept. And throughout my healing process earlier this year, I rested, I reset enough, I kind of got honest with myself enough to truly accept the implications and the responsibilities and the requirements of that particular pay grade or leadership position for those of you outside of the military community and are unfamiliar with the jargon. So it's a lot more responsibility than any of the job descriptions below it. It is a leadership position. It is a very tradition-based and honored leadership position. And since I was in a toxic state and I wasn't really healthy, I didn't feel comfortable in some of the professional mechanisms of that role. But again, I was unhealthy. Now that I'm returning to better health, it's a process. So if you want to give metrics, make those be your own opinion for how healthy I am or unhealthy I am. But according to my metrics, I feel like I'm getting considerably healthier and a lot faster than I really expected to, given the life events that have gotten in the way. Personal subjective statement for those of you out there. So we're going to honor Kent and Elena Palmer. I'm going to finish getting ready. I'm going to dress for the occasion to honor them the best way I know how and honor the memory of Kyle Price and my relationship with the family and this whole community and crew, which is now another part of my family. So I just wanted to center myself, share, and get ready for an extremely exciting time. I'm so happy for Kent and his family. I am so freaking happy and elated. You have no idea. So I'm so excited. I'm ready to do this. I have reset. I'm feeling so much better. So now I just need to get my socks and shoes on and let's tackle this day and this weekend. So thank you all very much for tuning in. It's been wonderful to be able to have this time with you, and stay in touch. Cheers.
Thank you for joining us today on this curious roller coaster of life. If this is your stop, please exit peacefully. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're ready for another one, just push play. Just a final note before you go, thank you, and thank you for feeling. The distillation and aging process is different for everyone. I'm not quite sure what you're ready for. Sip slowly and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey and I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth